The following.
What's again live? I hope all is well. Happy Friday. Guys, if you are new to the channel, if you are new, welcome. But make sure you like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay in contact with all our platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, Snapchat, all the social media handles. Follow us. Also, guys, you can catch us on all audio platforms except freaking Pandora. Oh, man. Ooh, Pandora. But guys, happy Friday. It is Buzzing with Marlowe Day. A lot of things have been going on, but before that, make sure you can go to our bonfire shop, bonfire/Buzzing with Marlowe. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And get you some awesome merch, man. Ladies and gentlemen, got the V-necks. And you got the hats, but you also can pick from certain sizes. They go all the way up to 2X. Obviously, you got the V-necks, have the premium sleeves. As you can tell, we have white, gray, black, and red. Also on V-necks, obviously, we have blue, red, and white. We have our premium tank tops. I'm a very big believer of these. I have the white, the red, the blue, and that turquoise. Yes, sir. It's actually really cool looking. I'm not even gonna lie, man. It makes that logo just stand out more. Obviously, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we got the ladies' specialties itself, the Razorbacks. You see, we got the navy blue, the red, the berry. Clearly, we can tell which one. And, of course, the white. Also, we have the pullover hoodies, ladies and gentlemen. We've got black, blue, red, and obviously the white one that I'm rocking right now. Also, we got the tri-blend long. Yes, sir. We got the gray. We got athletic gray. And we have the blue. Oh, it's called Troy Royal. And then obviously navy. And don't forget, women, the ladies, we have the gray, the heather navy. Okay, that's a unique name. And the white. And obviously we got the ones for the kids as well, for the 3/4 sleeves. My son actually has one right now, and he wears it very often when he's here. Can never get him to take it off. It's like a sports jersey for him somehow. But yep. Also, guys, you can click this one right here, Shop All Things Buzzing with Marlowe, and you can just check out it. As you can tell that I'm rocking as well. We have so many different options from that. We have the cuff beanie, and we also have the pom beanie. I know the weather has been a little cold and stuff, so you can rock the beanie and the pom-pom beanie with the Buzzing with Marlowe logo. That looks pretty awesome, if you ask me. The trucker hat, and obviously our shirts. Go to bonfire/Buzzing with Marlowe and Bonfire. They do amazing work for us, as you can tell from the trucker cap and the hoodies, man. I'm a very, very strong believer on this product. I'm very, very picky when it comes to my clothing. If you don't believe me, ask my wife. My wife will tell you I am very picky when it comes to my clothing, and these are so comfortable. The hoodies definitely stay warm, and it's like a big old snuggie. So definitely go check out the Bonfire Shop. Get on with the merch. Support the podcast. And obviously, I want to give a big shout out to Tactical Brotherhood. We have now got an ambassadorship with them. You put the promo code Patriot15 and you get off on all purchases. You can buy gum ammo. You can buy T-shirts. I'm looking forward to my t-shirt coming in. We'll definitely show that one off as well, and then we'll get the advertisement going in for that. But Tactical Brotherhood, type in promo code Patriot15, and we got a lot of moves going on. People have been asking me about my wrestling genre. We have been hitting next month. Definitely, I kind of portion it out a little bit, but I'll be taking bookings next month to get back in the ring again. And, I wrestled 2 months straight and then took this month off just to rest. Plus, it was my anniversary month, so I definitely was told, hey, take it easy. But I'm going to get back into accepting bookings and stuff like that again. Just got back from Tampa, from the World's Championship. Shout out to USA Flag. They did a great event this last couple of weekends. Jaguars. Y'all fought it through, regardless from everything. Chad Henne. But y'all made it as far as y'all can, and we thank y'all for giving us the excitement this season, and I'm so looking forward to it. That's right, guys. We are back. Back. 3 of us. My boy Dre on with us from the 1130 podcast, my boy Eric the Joker, and myself are the commission, and we are back. We were back on Wednesday live on the Wrestling Asylum's channel. Let's go, and most importantly, MJF. Definitely was a great episode. Giving our predictions about the Royal Rumble. There's been so many speculation going on, numerous things about what's going to happen at the Rumble. Obviously, we got Cody Rhodes coming back. That's going to be something really cool to see again, see what transition he really can get with the fan base and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see that one go down. It's going to be interesting still, man. I'm definitely excited to see what's going to all happen around that part. Definitely excited. I mean, oh, man, this Rumble is really, really exciting. I cannot even fathom on that.
I interrupt this regularly scheduled podcast so I could give a message to the American prodigy. I hear you loud and clear. October 1st, DCCW.
Cut that off. No. I'm trying to be in a calm, good mood, whatever. But I've got, you know what? I said I took my bookings next month. My book is open. Nino, do what you need to do. We're getting this set up. I'm done. This has gone on enough. It's been fun at some expense sometimes, but you took it to a level that just did not need to be. And you're going to pay that price really soon. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So you do whatever you want to do now. I'm done. I'm ready to just beat the living tar out of you. The fans, listeners, viewers are waiting for me to get my hands on you. So just know, when that half groundhog in your little hole, worried about seeing your shadow every second, just know that. But I'm done talking about that. I'm excited about today, guys. I'm getting back in the positive mindset. We've got an awesome guest today, guys. We have got a good episode for you. I'm not even going to lie when I say this, man. We've got Julia Langley, Cirque du Soul, musician, singer. Oh my gosh, it's going to be an amazing episode. But guys, till after we get back from our commercial break, countdown goes 30 to 1. We are going to be joined with the one, the only Julia Langley. And that starts, ladies and gentlemen, literally in 3, 2, 1 right now.
With Batsy. It was just last night, as the entire country was tuning into its favorite talk show.
You simply makes you a stranger.
VMAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Don't even know why I'm watching, cause it ain't funny when you ain't here. But I know you're going away, so I'm watching so we can stay here. I heard you trying to protect myself. I ain't making excuses, I'm just letting you know I understand why you live. It was toxic, that's for your help. You trying so hard to love me, but I really couldn't love myself. I need to get patient, baby, with time's up. Whole time I really felt like I wasn't enough. Deleted all of your pictures cause I can't stomach the fact. After all that we've been through, my baby's not coming back. I swear that I'll go down crying while I'm writing this track. I swear that I'll go down crying while I'm writing this track. Got more words this. Day one popped out, ain't nobody in this motherfucker fly to me. These bitches all in my DM, texting them back was good, but I ain't really trying to see them.
Out, he said he accepted, and you know what? Nobody wants to see it. Because nobody remembers the American prodigy. All this history, and nobody cares. But if you could find one, that's all I'm asking. If you could find one promotion that wants to put this on, I'll be there. I will be. There's no running. There's no running. Not at all. I will be there. Right in the center of the ring. You versus me. And then when I beat you, you'll understand that maybe wrestling wasn't for you. Maybe this is a good new career change. You're a podcaster. You're an influencer, social media.
What's up?
238 pounds.
All right, guys, I'm joined with Julia Langley. How are you doing?
I am fabulous. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It is Friday.
Thank goodness.
Oh, my Lord. It seems like it was forever. Especially, after the holidays and stuff, it just feels like the days go by so much slower. But the holiday, the Christmas day at itself, is the fastest day come to man, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And the build up, to me, the build up right before, it just takes up so much you're doing. And you go. Party here, go to this person's house, the family here, shopping here, right? And then you're like, wait a minute. It's Christmas. I have not baked one thing. I haven't put on my breath. Like, what is this? Where did the time go?
I know. And with our professions, it's like they promote it all year.
Yeah.
And it's like the big buildup, and it's just like you blink and the day's over with.
Like,
I love how, like, when I prepared, like, for my shows and stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm ready, I'm good to go. And then it's like that done instantly. And it's like, did it already happen? Like, have I already went out there? Like, what's up?
It's so true. And then you're like, now I have these decorations I have to take down. That's where my head goes.
Oh
my God.
After the camera, I will show you all this mess out here. I got the gingerbread estate going on right now. My wife's got every possible gingerbread house come to person right now in this thing. I joke around. I say, the game Candyland? I have gingerbread land, because literally everywhere. My
That's
wife
wonderful.
went
Now I want
insane this
gingerbread.
year.
Now you're
Insane
making me
this year.
hungry. I'm hungry.
Lord. And the craziest thing is I was just like, can we alternate a little bit? Maybe a gingerbread horse, something else, not just the house itself every single time. And it was just like, okay.
It's a tradition.
We got kids, but okay. All right, fine. Gingerbread houses it is.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, but I told you, I'm hungry now. Now I've got to find some gingerbread.
Oh no. Uh-oh. I might have to send you a couple of the gingerbread houses.
Oh,
maybe.
I'm open. I'm taking all any orders right now. I'll be your taste tester for it. I love gingerbread.
I love it. So Julia, if nobody knows who you are, tell them.
Well, I tell you, I am somebody that ran off a few years ago and joined the circus. That is a true story. Of course, we laugh about that, but it is true. I've worked for Cirque du Soleil for the last 18 years and been able to travel to over 20 different countries around the world. So I got bit by the travel bug then. And so that has been like a steady part of my life is traveling. I just recently got back from Morocco, actually, to epic trip. I was speaking there, which is what I do now. I still perform. But I also, not only do I sing, because I sang for Cirque du Soleil, but not only do I sing, but I also speak as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in Morocco doing both. And then, of course, I stayed a few extra days and had an epic vacation at the end.
Much needed.
Yeah.
As you should.
So it was amazing. But that's sort of really, that has been, a big part of my life. Circus performing has been a huge part of my life. So as I've, aged in my career or expanded my career, the next step would naturally be for me to include speaking and authorship. And I just released a #1 best-selling book back this summer. Yeah. And I'm really excited about that. A business book called Called to Speak, Lead, and Impact. And we were actually #1 on the best-selling list for public speaking, which is what I teach now. So overcoming fears and public speaking. So a lot there going on, but it's really, really a fulfilling life. I love what I do. It's stressful sometimes. Yes, absolutely. But it's worth all of the stress and all, every day I get up and I love it. I love it. I meet new people like you. I meet new people all the time. And that's what just keeps me going.
Oh man, you put me over nice on that one. I like that. I appreciate it. I felt special. I really feel like I was one of those special people now. Thank you. I got it now. There we go.
Good.
So let's tackle into that. So you working for the circus and stuff like that. Is that something that you've always wanted to been doing? You've always wanted to do since you were a little kid? Because obviously we've all been to a circus. There's no such thing as a person telling me they've never been to a circus because they're everywhere. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. They come at least 3 times a year. I think it was Barnabas or whatever one.
Mm-hmm.
But they were very popular.
Ringling Brothers. Yeah.
Yes. Ringling. Yeah. I was trying to remember the name for a second. I was like, is it that one or is it? Okay, we'll go with this one.
Yeah. And they're headquartered actually in Sarasota, near Sarasota, Florida. So Florida, which I know you're from, and I lived in Florida for about 20 years, is kind of a circus mecca, if you will, in the U.S. It's circus headquarters. And who would have thought? Well, maybe you would.
Hot desert area, why not?
Exactly. But
except right now.
To answer your question, though, when I was, I don't think anybody says, I'm going to join the circus. I'm not sure anyone says that. I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was younger. And I go into the sciences or whatever, but my entire life, I've been a singer. I've been a performer. And I started when I was 2 years old. I got away from that some when I went to college. Of course, my parents were like, get a degree. You're going to actually make a living doing, something besides singing. But it always came back to me because the art's my true love. So I got a business degree and I was out there working in the world, the corporate world or whatever. And it just kept calling. It kept calling me back. So I put my own show together and started doing more like what we call industrials or cabaret style performances. And then I friend of mine for my birthday took me to see Cirque du Soleil in Orlando, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know what it was, and I was like, "What is this?" I walked in, and it was like sensory overload. There was so much to look at, so much to see, and I actually call it musical or theater for guys who don't like theater, because it's so athletic. It's a marrying of art, athleticism, traditional circus with modern music. It's just really funky and fun and different. And I was like, I want to work for them. So at that point in my life, I was like, I want to work for them. So I kept looking for auditions that went out, and I auditioned, and I won the first audition.
Oh,
and
wow. There you go.
Two, and the rest is history, as they say. I continued doing different tours with them. I did some sit downs, world tour, United States tour, casino tours, on and on. But and then I got to where I was doing the industrials with them. So they would fly me, like, for example, fly me to Seattle. We would work there for 3 or 4 days, fly back home. Yeah. So, I've done pretty much all of the above with them, and for 18 years off and on.
I would say that's like the NFL of circus, in my opinion. The Cirque du Soleil, like they're known everywhere.
Yeah, they don't. Well, the athletes, the performers they're the best of the best in the world. And I was telling someone yesterday, because I was actually teaching a Pilates class last night, because I like to stay in shape and work out. And I was telling someone, I was in a rehearsal one time, and there was a guy in the rehearsals who was actually a Ukraine Olympian. All right. So
wow.
Yeah, he's Olympic champion from Ukraine. And he was doing a full handstand. Okay. For a circus performer, that's not that big of a deal. But he stayed in this handstand for 15 minutes, walking around on his.
See, I'm in shit.
Like literally straight up in the air, and he's doing push up after push up in a full handstand. We were like, look at this kid over here.
Showing off. There's this guy. Who's you? Who is this fella?
Yeah, I'm like,
we get it. You're in the Olympics. It's all cool. All right, gotcha.
There's the strongest people in the world. They're amazingly strong. They they don't even lift weights. They lift people.
You're not lying at all in that, and that's something that I really like to tackle on too, because a lot of people think, obviously, us people that literally go to the gym and stuff, we lift all the weights in the world, and this and that. I just made a post on my Facebook account recently, and I said, why do we go to the gym? And people just struck on, just comment on it and talk about their reasons of it. And most common one, everybody's, I want to look good naked. And it's like, literally like, okay, yeah, that's true. That is true. And I'm not even going to deny that one. And then I was just like, and so many people are talking about, comfort. And he's never been in the gym ever. He's never even knew what a gym was. He said all he would do was pull-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups. That's all he would do every single time. And I was just like, there's no way. There's no way. And like he challenged me, and I was just like, all right, you got it.
It's true. When you sit there and you see, we had this one trio that worked in the circus. The bass, which we call the person that's the port, or the bass that's holding the others. I mean, his legs are as big around as my whole body. And what's funny about it is your bodies, depending on the discipline, because there are flyers, there are so if you have someone who's working trapeze, I
had a friend of mine that he was on the show. He was a trapeze guy, and he literally in New York, and he got to do event in Madison Square Garden.
That's right.
And that was an interesting episode to hear, just because it's like what they got to do and how they get their body prepared for stuff like that. And it's just like, I know dang well, I'm not in the worst shape ever, but for me to be hanging up on something in the midair, no bungee cords, none of that stuff, and it's just like,
and you're holding someone else, so someone else is actually depending on you.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like wrestling, but I'm not being midair hold up for dear life. Like, hey,
40 feet up.
You got
yeah.
this? You got me? You need dinner?
There's a certain level of trust that goes into
Mhm.
being in the circus. Like, so we had this one duo that worked together, these guys that they knew each other for a really long time. They really, really did not like each other at all.
Yeah.
But they were the highest paid duo of their kind in the world. The highest paid, could not be in the same room together otherwise. They had to stay separated. But there was no way, as much as they disliked each other, that they would let the other one go down.
Mess up.
There's no way, because that's just not how it works, and
That's their
and most
money.
of the time, yeah, I flew some too, but most of the time it was someone carrying me because I was a singer. So they would pick me up and I would fly with them. But accidents happen, things happen,
Yep.
and you have to trust whoever, and I knew that when someone was holding me and I was flying, that I knew that guy would take a fall just to keep me from getting hurt. And I trusted it 100%. There was like no doubt. I trusted them 100%. I knew, and there were things that happened along the way, but I knew that, that I could rely on them. And so that's a really big part of the circus, is understanding.
Was that what you mainly were wanting to do, was just be a singer for them? And that was all you wanted to be at first? And then when they told you, hey, we're going to lift you up, like, what was your feel on that?
I was okay. So I am a singer. That is really what people think. Are you an acrobat? So no, my discipline is as a musician. So
Right.
I was hired as a musician. That was my job. That's what I've done, my whole life. But as younger, I was a gymnast. So I've always been extremely flexible. I've always been in the best. I mean, I kept up with them. And so the athletes I worked out with them every day. So I was in the honest best shape of my life. So I have to say, which we'll probably get into later, in 2019, I got hit by a Jeep. I was riding my bicycle, and the Jeep T-boned me in an intersection, and I went up on the hood and out in the street. This was in South Florida. Had I not been in shape like I was,
You've been hurt really, really bad. Yeah.
I would have survived. I had 4 surgeries as it was, but I'm telling you that you were talking about reasons to go to the gym, the reasons to work out. First of all, I do it for my head. It keeps me centered. But the other thing, it keeps me strong, and because I was strong, when I did face that challenge, I was like, I took on a Jeep and I survived. And I survived.
Own that T-shirt.
That's right.
Jeeps can't stop me.
Jeeps don't stop me. That's it.
GM who?
I mean, I'm very grateful. Okay, let me not get too cocky.
Just
on
one time, not no more. No, take 2.
no
that's
more.
not happened. That's it. Take 1.
On the other side,
One
I'm
and
very grateful.
done.
But I will say that I do believe that physicality and me working out and being really diligent about staying in good shape and having to keep up, because in the circus you got to keep up. There's a certain physical element that goes into it, when you're competing with the best athletes. Not competing, you're performing with the best athletes in the world. You don't want to get up there looking like a schlub. Loser. So there's a little bit of that. Oh, I do have to keep up, involved. But they used to kid me all the time, because I was very flexible. The contortionist would be like, "You're very flexible," and then somebody would come in and go, "Chuya, you got a 6-pack," and I'm like, "Hey, it's because I sing and I use my diaphragm all the time, and I work out." And they're like, "You're in better shape than any singer I've ever seen." So I said, well, this is the reason why.
It benefits so much, and people just see it as 2 different things, especially this generation. Like this generation,
Get it.
If I didn't have a podcast, I would literally get fully off of social media right now, just because, oh my gosh, if you work out, you're too conceited. If you work out and the results show, like people, when I was wrestling, when I first started wrestling, people did not like me wrestling around them shirtless because they felt uncomfortable, because obviously I fat that dang part. Like, I literally would diet. If I knew, like, I had a show coming up, I would do a no-carb strict thing for that 2 weeks. And I would literally be drinking a lot of, water, BCA, just to fill myself up through the days.
Right.
I wouldn't eat that much. And people would just be like, man, do you even touch a donut? Like, what in the world? This is not normal. And I'm like, yeah, I just juiced my brain. Like, literally, come on, man. Like, it's those little things. Oh, he's on steroids. I was like, do y'all realize how much harder it is to be on steroids? It's not just a magic string and think, okay, I'm on steroids, I'm about to be Superman. No, not even. You got to put in way more work. You have to literally take care of yourself more better than you've ever done in your life. You can't slip up once on those because those will expose you quick. And it's just like these little things. People don't realize the main positive benefits of just being active. I'm not even saying just going to the gym, just being active. You burn more calories by walking a day than you just sitting on the couch. Like I tell people all the time, if you're on a desk job, get up. Like my wife, she gets so mad at me all the time. I'm like, come on, get up. We're going to go walk. No, I'm so tired. No, you're getting up. Let's go walk. Like it's these little simple things, and it makes you more better. I tell people, you getting up and walk could be your coffee. You will have more energy. You will have more mind-focused stuff. Like, I'm weird. Everybody's like Mark Wahlberg, my idol. I definitely am all about The Rock. But he does 4 a.m. workouts. I do workouts before I go to bed. That's just how I've always been processed because, one, I'm by myself. There's nobody that's going to bother me in the gym. My daughter's supposed to be in the bed. My wife's in bed. I can easily go somewhere and just be relieved from everything that went on that day. So it's just a matter of what's your purpose and how you feel of it. Because my wife knows if I don't go to the gym for 2 days straight, she'll look at me and go.
You gotta go because I can't stand you.
Go. Like if I'm just sitting there looking at a video game and I'm just like, go. There's the keys. Go. Like,
well, it just does so much, and the other thing is
so much benefits.
Aging, you have to keep your body strong, and I see this too. As even if it's people have been in the circus a long time and they start to age out, you have to take care of your body because you start to age, your body will break anyway. Now, this doesn't matter to someone who's 20 because you think you're going to live forever and you think you're going to be awesome.
I was there, and then my first wrestling injury, and it took me 3 years. I've been out of the ring for almost 4 years. Now I'm back in now. And it took a major toll on me because Invincible died. That's the word for it. It died.
This was something that I found really interesting. I was being in Delray Beach, Florida, where I was. We have the tennis center and there's a professional tennis center with heating. So I was talking to some pros that would come in for some of the competitions. I was talking to a guy one night. He was at one time, one of the best tennis players in the country, on the circuit that he was playing on. But he was saying the difference between a 20-year-old and a 29-year-old playing tennis, the reflexes already at 29 years old are so much slower than a 20-year-old. All right. So my point in saying this is that aging's not necessarily a bad thing, but if we don't keep ourselves strong, now that's just a natural progression. That's someone that keeps up their game and keeps working, but their reflexes are going to naturally slow down. Yeah. So let's say you're not doing anything at all. What happens to your body then? You're put like 5 times in worse shape, 100 times worse
heart
shape.
Attack,
Yeah,
heart failure, blood flow wrong. Yep.
This is what's killing people. So it's not just about, we want to look good. We're vain. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that at all. Look good all day long. Look good up until the day you die. I think that's perfectly fine. But also know that there's something going on up here with that. And it's just that what you're talking about is therapy. And we have so many people nowadays, they talk about mental health. They talk about not being in a good place in their life, yet they don't get up and try working out. And
I want to highlight what you just said on that one because it's such a big benefit. Like I see this generation, and I plural it big when I say this generation because it's just they whine about everything. And it's like, I literally have had enough when I sit here and listen to some of the stuff that they just breach out. I'm like, bro, can you just get up and do something about it? Why do you have to research something? Why you have to literally go, oh, that person must be on steroids? Like, no, you get up and go to the gym, you work hard and stuff, you do the best of your ability. Like, it doesn't matter if you're on whatever. I said, I don't care. If you're doing better than what you did yesterday, that's all I care about.
That's exactly right.
And I've always told my kids, I'm not going to push the gym on them. I think my daughter is going to be by a gym buddy when she gets to at least 7 or 8, because this child is the most active youngin I have ever met.
Get a bike and ride it.
No, the funny thing is, like, when we had Christmas stuff, when we were getting the Christmas stuff out, my wife was getting mad because I was in the bathroom or whatever, and she was pulling out this thing. She was getting mad at me. She's like, you could have helped me. And I see my 3-year-old daughter at the time dragging this thing all the way to the living room. And I just looked at Samantha. I was like,
the 3-year-old can do it.
What are you mad about? What are you mad about? And my daughter's like, Daddy, put tree up. Put tree up. I'm just like, yeah.
But you know,
people are in for a storm when she gets older.
But that's great, because she just does what has to be done.
So active.
That's what I think that has hurt us a lot, is that we don't think we have to. Sometimes you have to do things you don't necessarily. I mean, sometimes there are days when I don't want to work out, or I don't want to do something, but I do it anyway, because I know that is, number one, it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Number two, it's the benefit. My dad always said something. He's a very smart man. He always said, you either pay now or you pay later.
Yes.
Pay now or you pay later. So there are sacrifices to be made. There's things that you have to do. There are things that you have to give up. You want that. You want to be fit and healthy, and you want to look good in your clothes. Do something about it. Eat healthy. Work out. Now that's my soapbox. That's my soapbox about being fit. But you know, I come from a background where it's so important. If it's so important. No, we didn't work. We weren't fit. We didn't work. You know, you weren't.
Exactly.
You don't survive the travel. Okay. Because as glamorous as performing is, traveling the world, flying all over the world, having champagne on the airplane, whatever you want to call it, living the caviar life, it's hard work. It is hard work. The days are long.
Time zones are different. Each and every spot. Oh my gosh.
Listen, I've worked 16-hour days, 17-hour days. I traveled to the east, to Asia. I traveled to Asia. 13-hour time difference. They're 13 hours ahead. Okay. So we flew in. We landed there at 7 p.m. their time, which was, of course, 6 a.m. our time. No sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a call time the next morning of 7 a.m. So it's 7 p.m. our time. So you have to understand, with the jet lag and the time, they don't care. You get up, you do your job.
Do it. Yeah, that's your job. That's what you're getting paid to do. Yep.
Yeah, and if you're not taking care of yourself, and if you're not tough and resilient and willing to do what it takes, you're not going to survive. You won't even survive a tour. You won't make it through. You won't get to sign autographs because you just won't make it that far. So
how many projects are like based off of like how you say a tour? Like how many shows do y'all run usually for just like a basic tour?
Well, it depends. It really depends on what the tour is and where you're going. All right. So a tour can be a sit down. So I've done a tour where we would have month-long sit downs for 2-month-long sit downs, and then pick up and then go to the next place. Also in that same tour, that would be a tour, like a domestic tour in the U.S. We would have one-nighters, which are the worst things I've ever done.
That sounds terrible.
It's awful.
That sounds terrible.
They're awful, right? We don't like one-nighters because, you know, the crew goes ahead. They're setting up. You literally walk in, set up, do your lights. Sometimes you choose whether you sleep or you eat. Choice, or shower, eat. Do I take a shower? Do I eat? We all
You got to shower. You got to shower.
Believe me, we knew far too much about each other. I knew where like my people that would sit, like, I knew where they bought their underwear. They would be, like,
you live in that wrestling life.
You're like, I don't want to know this about you, and I know far too much about you.
Oh,
you
man,
like,
you are speaking the sister moment.
Yeah, I got you. I'm sorry. It really is. Yeah. Like it is like brothers and sisters. And then you're just like, then some people have really bad habits, hygiene habits, those two. Those are gross. They're just like, so there's just a lot that goes into it, but there's a perseverance that goes into it that I don't think people understand, that they want things to come so easily for them that they don't really, when something goes wrong, they're not, they just don't want to work through it. They just want to quit. I don't deserve this. I deserve better than this. I'm just going to quit, And you're like, this is life. This is what life hands.
That's how I look at it, marriage, because I've told numerous people, because I'm not a marriage counselor or anything, but a lot of guys like to vent to me and stuff, talk about, their significant other, and they're like, man, maybe marriage ain't for me, da da da. It's like, dude, you haven't even been married a year yet. Like, literally, just work it out. You obviously wanted to be there because y'all are married. So it's like, I've told numerous people, I was like, I will do anything to make sure I know for a fact that I can make this marriage work. But it never said, hey, I want to marry this person, if I knew I was going to want to temporarily be like a coat and just be like, oh, it was nice for a month, but now it's like,
I'm over it.
They got a new one. I need a new one. No, like, I've told people numerous times, like, I had a phase where I literally would just figure out what I would want. And then obviously when I got with my wife now, I knew for a fact, okay, this is the person I want to be with. And I've told people numerous times, I was like, you have to realize there's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows the whole time. Like, your honeymoon stage is amazing, because when that wears off and it's just like everything just starts crackling out everywhere, and it's just like, it's either you quit or you learn how to build this thing and build that foundation to make it a stronger relationship. And I've told people numerous times, I was like, you can do whatever you want. Like, you want me to hear you out, whatever. If you want me to give you my point of view, I'll give you that. But you need to realize it's not going to be easy. It's not like you're going to have a shot and then be like, all right, marriage is good again. No, like, you have to put work in to get this involved. And I do this for everything I do. I mainly lift because I eat like crap. And I don't want a big belly and all this to get these little things. And I told people, if you work hard, stuff will happen. It's not going to jump to you and be like, hey, you fought for me. All right, I'm going to do something for you today. No, like, it takes time. And I think that's another reason why people fail to go to the gym so much, because they think they go to the gym one day that they should be like, look at me. It's insane.
I know. And I just, part of it's just making that commitment, and it's not a commitment to anyone else, it's a commitment to yourself. So the only person that you're really letting down by not doing it is yourself. Like, this is a commitment for you to make your own life better. So that's what I try to tell. And clients, people I work with, because I work with a lot of different people who are into speaking, who want to step out and do what you're doing. They want to do a podcast, or they want to step on the stage, get clients of their own. And I talk to them. I talk to them about that. It's one of the biggest things is making a commitment to yourself, because you're not ever going to see a transformation in your life if you don't commit to and make that decision, make a powerful decision to do it. So that's, to me, that it starts up here, and committing and then believing that you can make a change, believing you can make a change, and then doing it. And staying with it long enough for to see the change.
It blows my mind on that. Like, I tell people, like, people ask me all the time, like, man, how's your podcast? Like, people used to laugh at me when I said I was thinking about starting a podcast. And people were just like, I don't know, this is going to go well. And then I had some of my old wrestling friends, because I left that at I wrestled for 6 years. So that's young in our mindset, but for anybody that's outside wrestling, like, man, that's a good long time that you've been bumping on something other than a trampoline and all this other stuff.
That's right.
And I was just like, oh, I will never do that route again. Like after I listened to that first episode, I was like, how did this get over 200 plays? Like, how did this even do this?
Right? But here's the thing, and this is what most people don't do, and this is what I work with people on. Most people just let their nervousness and their fear stop them. So the first time someone says to them, I don't think that's going to work, dude. I don't think it's going to work. They quit.
Yep.
They don't try.
I got a smirk on my face when that happens.
That's
right. Because I'm just like, try. Okay.
You're like, you know what? Okay, so if it doesn't work, then we'll drop back and punt. Okay? We can drop back, punt. But we don't know until we try, and we really try, commit to trying. So I think this is, and it's not, fear gets in the way of so many things in our lives. Starting podcasts, stepping out there, speaking. So I mean, I deal with it all the time.
How many people have said,
I'm not going to try out for Cirque du Soleil because I would never make it.
Just looking at the person, you wouldn't feel like you would fit in.
Yeah, I would never do that. Well, okay. I've had an amazing life traveling the world because I actually took a step out and said, I want to do that, and I'm going to try. And they may tell me no. And how long
did the audition work? Like, how long was it for you to actually be able to contact them and like really find out when the audition, and like how long was that process?
Well, they brought me in because they were looking for something specific, for a very specific, they had two things going on, and they were looking for a specific thing for a tour. And I wound up getting the job, not the tour job, but the other job where I did a sit down in the theater for a short time. I don't know, a couple of weeks, start to finish, but they were specifically looking so I won't call it an ad, but the casting call that went out was for something specific. So it was not a general, like now this has been, nearly 20 years ago. So now
it's so different now. It's on apps and everything else nowadays.
Well, yeah. But like,
there ain't no ads in newspapers no more.
No, it's mine found the ad in Playbill. They were in Playbill, which is the New York Playbill. That's playbill.com, and they show auditions. So I found it in there, and they had a local person in Florida, so I auditioned just up front. So it worked for me. But I say it worked because it was meant to work. That was what I was supposed to do.
You weren't going to refuse to not get this job. Like, this was something that you for a fact wanted, and nobody was going to tell you different.
Well, no, and I believe that was like, I do believe that each and every one of us have this specialness about us. Each and every person on this planet has something to bring to this world. And it's our job to explore what that is. Sometimes I get it right, I think, and then sometimes every now and then I miss it, and sometimes you miss it. But if you don't try, you miss 100% of the shots you take.
Yep. I agree with you on that.
You have to find that specialness. You gotta find that uniqueness within you, that which changes the world. You and your podcast, you're changing people's lives, and you may not even know to the extent.
Oh, I've gotten a recent, like, I remember I use this reference a lot, but when I first started wrestling, like, I just was built in. I'm like, okay, I'm happy to be this type of superhero type guy. I'm on shows, kids love me, stuff going on outside of my life. We talked about it before the camera started regarding my son. The whole show knows about that right now. I don't need to dive all the way back into that like every other episode, but it's like, I felt like for you to tell me that, you just made me a better person than what I had believed I was. And it made me appreciate what I was doing so much more. And it helped me appreciate, at the time, having a fiance, being a father, a lot of things like I took for granted in a way because I felt like that was a life. If I wanted this lifestyle, I had to literally focus on this and nothing else. Like nothing. I literally told people I was looking straight. I wasn't looking on the side view for anything. I was really just on this path. Gym, nutrition, do whatever I need to do to get myself in these shows, contact promoters, do whatever I need to do to book myself, didn't matter what location it was, which I regret on some of those as well because they were insane. But it's like,
but if you don't make mistakes, you're not trying. That
exactly. That's one thing I've told people. Every setback makes one heck of a comeback, and that's something that I've overcame so much. Like for me to get into wrestling, something fell in my lap for me to even pursue it, to even try it. I mean, and for the podcast, something fell in my lap to make me pursue it and try it. And then now I've gotten so much healthier. I'm way more better than I feel like I even was when I was a wrestler. And that's why I've actually considered like, hey, I might want to try this again. I want to literally leave on my own. And people have spiked it up, you know, emails and messages, be like, hey man, you look great. It would be awesome to see you back in the ring. And some of it has hyped me up to like, you know, went to the doctor, and the same doctor that told me, hey, you could die if you kept doing this and your brain is not processed for this anymore. He looked at me and said, it looks like you haven't even had a problem. And that was the part that I was just like, my wife was super shocked. Like I had to make sure she was with me because we got to make sure the commander in chief is involved in there before I even considered anything else, you know. So,
happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. And she was just astonished. She was like, wow, like you really took care of yourself. Wow, you've done this. And like we both were in tear moments because I didn't think I could do it again. And for me, constantly just being in the gym and learn how to take care of myself, that was the biggest thing. Like I would just lift heavy. I wasn't stretching. I wasn't doing anything. Like my body was just breaking instantly. Now, I used to joke about it for so long. I'm big on yoga. I'm big on, you know, stretching, more on cardio standpoint as well, because I wasn't the biggest cardio guy. I literally left cardio after I was done with college basketball because I absolutely despised that sport for that year.
Cardio? Let's be honest.
I despised that sport for a year because I was like, look, I came to play basketball, not be a track star. And literally it was just like I was so burned out from it. I just couldn't do it. And it was just crazy to see like all these things that have fell in my lap to make an opportunity. And I've always took advantage of these opportunities that I've had, like this right here. We've grown so much. Like I went from just doing audio to now video, getting on YouTube, making big numbers on YouTube, making big numbers on, you know, all these other platforms, discovering a lot of different things, learn how to network a little bit more and stuff regarding the podcast. Like I used to think this was just gonna be a fun joke, but it's like, this can be something, and people grow on these things, and it's insane to me. And it's
well,
just
you're
crazy
showing others too. You're showing others. I think
exactly. Like that's the one thing I'm focused on with this show is like showing people come out of your comfort zone. It's okay to literally take a risk, take a step, take a chance. And I've told people, if you want to try a podcast, grab a phone, try to record, see how you feel on it. If you feel like you can do a video one, download it. Here's a little plug, guys. Download the StreamYard app. Check the referral code, you know, pay the bills. But it's like literally, you just look at a camera for yourself and see what makes you evolve, make yourself appreciate it and get that moment. And like how you said, working for a circus, like not a lot of people could do it. We all make a joke saying, oh man, we could all just go up and run to the circus and stuff. You did that. You've made a heck of a living from this. Like,
yeah.
Oh, like, no offense. That is WWE and circus performance compared to anything around. Like, anybody is known from that. If you've been in that thing, that's like saying you went to college in Harvard. That's the first thing that pops up with that resume. People are going to be looking like, we need that person. We need to sign this person. We need to figure out what that person did. Like, hey, can you train this group? Hey, can you help us with this TV show or something? Like it, right. Those are the first people they're looking at because, like how you just said, they're the best of the best. I do want to talk about
part of that. I love
exactly.
To be part.
You're part of the glue of that whole foundation, and that's something to be proud of.
You know, I paid my dues too. I didn't start off at a business degree, but I knew music was calling me. I mentioned this earlier. So I started doing some stuff, and a friend of mine who was working the industrial concert, like cabaret scene, she said, here's an agent, call him up. I called him up. He booked smaller shows, but lots of shows. So he said, do you have anything you can send me? I said, oh, yeah, I got a videotape. So I sent him a videotape of me singing the Star Spangled Banner. Okay. Star Spangled Banner. That may not sound like silly, but knowing what I know now, I can't even believe I got a job with a video of me singing the Star Spangled Banner. Yeah. No, because I was asking them to book me for a show, a 45-minute, one woman corporate like concert that I give, and I sent them me standing outside singing the Star Spangled Banner, right? So in later years, he booked me and he took a chance, right? And of course, it went really well. And I was getting 9 shows a week from this agent. So I was booking so many shows, like I couldn't even do them all. I was booking so many shows. But later he came back to me and we were like rolling in the floor laughing about the fact that I sent him a video of me singing the Star Spangled Banner. It was just so like,
that song is so difficult in so many ways. Like the song is so simple, but it's like you have to be on point on that song, or you make an internet.
Oh my God, I do. But he was just laughing because he booked me to do a 45-minute show just based on that one song, and he was laughing about it. So looking back, then it's like I didn't even know what I didn't know at that point, but I just took the chance anyway, and I just stepped off the ledge. I sent him what I had. So my message in that is just start. Just start with what you've got. If you got a computer, it doesn't matter if it's a 10-year-old computer, if you can get StreamYard up on it, do it. Doesn't matter if you're a singer and you videoed yourself like singing in your living room or something. Just try. Try. And that is going back, I'm often asked, what is the one message that, if you could say one message, what would it be? And this is the message. I say, don't wait, just do it. Don't wait until you're ready, because you won't ever be ready until you start.
Nope. I always say, man, the reference with the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise never gave up. So the more the hard work, eventually the tortoise beat the hare. And that's literally how people have got to see things. Like, it's not going to be handed to you. If you want to if you want to be an astronaut, find out what you need to do to become an astronaut. Like, these are outrageous things, but it's still
they're not.
In reality. And this is one thing I love about these shows, is because I've had numerous people, authors, actors, directors, and stuff, and they've all just took a risk. They all just took a risk, and they've succeeded. I mean, some of them still don't feel like they're at where they need to be, but they've been putting the work in and busting their tail to get these stuff in. Like, people directing, you're going to have your crappy films at first. And of course, that's what's going to build your resume to keep going higher. Like how you just said, singing Star Spangled Banner is probably not your #1 hit list for top play music. But hey, you took a risk, and it gave you a resume to get this job and to keep progressing up. And like I've said it numerous times, when I first started wrestling, my first match, I literally just tried to watch it back 2 weeks ago, and I cringed because I said this was the worst thing I've ever seen. And people loved it when it happened. It happened because it's like I felt like I gave it my all. But when I watched it now, I'm like, what was I doing? Like, what was I thinking? Like, if people want to hear me talk about critique of wrestling, they're going to watch that episode, and they're going to be looking at me like, what were you talking about, dude? Like, what were you doing with this and all this? And it's like, all right, that was the resume. That's what gave me the startup and made me build up more. And it's just like these things that people – it drives me nuts. Like I tell people, man, I've got friends that play in the NFL. I've got guys.
Learn by doing, and one of the things that I tell all my clients is that you have to do it. Like, that's how you get. that's part of getting better, because you learn as you go. And even with entrepreneurs or speakers, they talk about branding themselves, and they come out of the gate, I'm going to be this great entrepreneur, so they go get all this fancy branding, and then a year later they're not in the same place. They're not even the same person that they were the year before. So then they have to redo all of that expensive branding. Like, get situated, get in there, start learning who you are, what you got to do to make this work. And as it goes, the rest will start to come. It's gonna come.
It's like a relationship. You have to slowly focus on yourself, build your self-esteem, get what you need to do, focus on that person slowly. Plural, slowly.
Slowly.
And then just extend it out, see what y'all like, comparisons, build this foundation up, and then eventually it might happen. It's just like these things. I tell people all the time, a relationship is literally like a business. You have to slowly progress. I've gotten one up. Now, if I'm not getting any plays that week and I'm sitting there, I'm like, we need to look at this episode, see what we need to do to focus on what they need to, what will the audience want to connect with into this episode to go, hey, I want to check this episode. Hey, I want to do this. And those are some things that I've learned. The biggest in that person before, obviously with the wiseness and all the knowledge that you have now, what would you give her to be prepared for?
Well, I would say this. I would say one of the biggest things is that if you want other people to invest in you, money, time, whatever, that you have to be with others, to have others be willing to invest in you. You have to be willing to invest in yourself. So that means that you have to be willing to give yourself the time, the commitment. You have to be willing to spend the money on what you're doing, on your career. You have to be willing to ask for help. These are things that I didn't do early on, and I think
all of us wouldn't have done.
Yeah,
I think that's the best thing, because I never would ask for help,
ever.
Never.
Well, with that independent personality, that strong, powerful personality, that risk taker that we have in us to step out there. So when you get that courage, then there's also an element, I can do this. I'm independent and I can do this and I can make this work. But the truth of the matter is that to be a successful entrepreneur, to podcaster, YouTuber, it doesn't matter. To be successful, period, you have to have other people. It requires connections, collaborations with other people. It requires networking. It requires talking. It requires using your voice, not being afraid to use your voice. And believe it or not, although, I'm a performer all over the world, and I actually help people learn how to use their voice now, learn how to speak out, learn how to step out on stage, right? That's what I do. But it hasn't always been easy for me. When I was young, I was socially awkward. And I know that there are people out there, or at least I felt like I was. People would be like, you're crazy. You're like a social butterfly. But I know that there are people out there that feel so uncomfortable. They feel like they don't know what to say. They feel like they step on the stage and people are staring at them.
It's crazy how people like that are like how you said, they perform in front of thousands of people, but they're camera shy. Like, they literally are not a people person. And I've noticed that tons of times, from my backgrounds and stuff like that. I remember a lot of people would literally go, I have so much bad anxiety. And it's just like,
that's right.
We just performed in front of how many? You're not a people person? Like, what is this? It's crazy how that works, though.
It's so true, and it's surprising, and so this is a fear that public speaking is actually the number one fear in the world, right up there with spiders, the fear of spiders. Okay, I hate spiders, by the way. I know that
two fears: spiders and snakes.
There you go.
I ain't scared much of anything else, but those two, I'll run.
Yeah, I am so with you on that. I
run.
There are a lot of things for a lot of reasons. I mean, and everybody has their own reason. Maybe there's a judgment. You feel like you're being judged, or you feel like you're going to mess up, screw everything up,
right?
Or you feel like you're not knowledgeable enough or skilled enough. I mean, there are a lot of reasons people fear, and I'm only touching on a few of them. But you know, but getting back to what you asked me, I think that that's the biggest thing, is that you have to be willing to make an investment in yourself. Not always money, sometimes money, but definitely time.
Any final things that you want to touch on? Major shout outs, anything like that, guys? The links will be below. Check her out. We definitely will have to have you back on, and we'll definitely go fully more in depth with public speaking.
Yeah.
Possibilities of talking about how to start out to be a singer and stuff like that. Okay.
I know. That's all right. I would love to come back on and love to talk about these things, because I know there's a lot of people out there that have these gifts and they really want to share them with the world, but don't know where to start. So I can definitely shed some light on that. Yeah, I'm going to put my links up. I'll have my Linktree link up, and that has a link to my book if you're interested. It's a business book. It has links to all my social media, how to contact me, and I do coaching as well. I have a coaching business. So if there's someone that really wants to learn how to use their voice, really wants to get their face out there in the world and do it without fear, without anxiety and nervousness, I'm your gal right here. I got you.
She's number one. She's number one right there, guys. Number one. But Julia, I appreciate you doing this, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so very much, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye for now.
Have a good one. All right, guys, time to go home queue. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Julie Langley for coming on today, having a great chat with us, talking about some awesome knowledge. Talk about, motivational speaking and stuff like that, man. So definitely looking forward to the next chat we're going to have with her. Guys, make sure y'all check all the links below. Follow her. Check her stuff out, man. I just saw some of her recent music, and wow, girl can go. There's a reason why she's been traveling all over the world with Cirque de la Soul singing, man. Girl can sing, my goodness. But guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure, welcome first and foremost, and make sure you like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay in contact with all our platforms. We're on all social medias at Buzzing with Marlowe or at Warren Marlowe, or you can catch us out on all audio platforms except Pandora. Hopefully that will change really soon. Obviously, guys, we are very popular on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, Podvine. Trying to name a couple more. Good Pods, Apple. We are officially on Apple. We've been on Apple for a little bit, and Apple just jumps us up to 19 different platforms just for being on Apple products. So that's a big plus as well. But absolutely, guys, check out our ambassadorship for Tactical Brotherhood. The link is below. Go in there, type in the promo code Patriot15, and you get 15% off on your purchases, guys. Also, we are doing a thing, knowing that it's summertime and everybody's getting that fit body ready to go out. And if you're a big energy drink fan, check out Raz Energy. You can find these at the Vitamin Shop GNC, or you can go online and type in a promo code BUZZ20 and you get 15% off all your purchases. The link is below. Hit the referral code and you can get 15% off. BUZZ20. No, it's AP2420. You will get 15% off on your purchases. They also have supplements. They have protein shakes, BCA, L-carnitine. I mean, those are the biggest things that you can need. Obviously, fish oil as well. We've been working with a lot of things. Also, guys, we've got a promo code you see in the link below. We got the cart, and obviously for Buzzsprout. So if you can check those out. Also, the referral code. If you really feel like you want to record, make your podcast and do stuff like how you see. And go on this referral code right over here. Check out this referral code. Get money off and try StreamYard. StreamYard is the #1 spot, I would say, that you could record on many platforms all at once. And you can do audio and video at the exact same time, guys. It is the most simplest thing for editing, I mean, promoting, getting your name out there, getting your face to really grow in the podcast world, in the streaming world, the vlog world, whatever, I recommend go to StreamYard. If you're not a fan of Zoom, check out StreamYard. Check out the link below, the referral code, and you get money off. Cannot go wrong, guys. Cannot go wrong. But guys, this is the go home. I want to thank y'all for joining us this week. I want to thank everyone that has been seeing my craziness for the last couple of weeks lately regarding the Jaguars. It sucks they out, but I'm very proud to see what they've been doing for this long haul, just the season itself. You only had your second season in, and you balled out this season. And for you to be in the top 10 for quarterbacks this season, big deal. So definitely looking forward to the next season for sure. For sure. But guys, thank y'all for watching. Also, guys, if you didn't watch this live episode, you can watch it premiering on the audio platform later on. All audio platforms. It will be on. I'm gonna try to get it done by 10 o'clock tonight at the latest Eastern time. So we definitely get those out as well. A lot of things are coming up, a lot of big guests that we got coming up real soon. Also, guys, we got the Commission Talks is back. If you did not check out that episode, go to the Wrestling Asylum's YouTube channel and check out Commission Talks. Also, we got Royal Rumble this weekend. My boy Dre, he's doing his Talk Pro Wrestling episode on that Saturday. So check him out at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Also, you can check out my boys off the mob, the OTTR mob. They're back tonight at 11:15 Eastern time. Also, you can check them out on the live watch along, the Royal Rumble watch along that Saturday as well. So a lot of big things coming up. Also, check out my boy Brian B from the Beeline Web Show, our podcast web show. My boy is going strong and hard. He is filming on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and now on Thursdays. My boy is on there a good amount of times. Obviously, you can catch me a couple of times. If I'm ever free, I will get on there. Also, check out my boy Ace and his wrestling show on Tuesday nights at here. It's late, but where they're at, it's like not even 8 or 9 o'clock there. So check out theirs on Let's Talk Sports. They have a network, man. Great freaking network. They do a lot of things. Major shout out to Ace for coming on that episode we did with the Jaguars. That was really freaking awesome. They're growing relentlessly. They have a huge network as well. So I'm excited for the Coast to Coast entertainment. They're really showing out. So give them support. Check them out as well. Also, man, check out a lot of podcasts, man. A lot of people put in a lot of work and put a lot of diligence to entertain y'all and give y'all content each and every week. So support your local podcast, support your local wrestlers, support your local singers, artists, all that, man. Support them all because our passion is to entertain you and hopefully get growth. So, guys, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate every single one of y'all. This was episode 121, and I will see y'all down the road. Later. Y'all have a good one, man.